the biggest name to move, and I guess the first shoe to drop kind of was Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Obviously he got released early, so he was able to sign the earliest, and he moves from Las Vegas to New Orleans. He's back there with Dennis Allen, same coach. Some familiarity there from his time in Oakland. So, I mean, for me, this is, it was a 4-year, $150 million contract. I mean, they're making a nice commitment to Derek Carr. And, I think this is really good for them. I feel like he is, Andy Dalton operated last year, that offense pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Derek Carr is a step up from him. So I think it's not a huge step in my opinion, but Derek Carr is a step up. So I think we can kind of expect to see the same sort of numbers from guys like Chris Olave. We'll see what happens with Michael Thomas, right? I mean, it sounds like they are restructuring him and he's, he wants to maybe stay. Guys like Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Very nice addition, I think, for a guy like that. So what do you think? I mean, I feel like Juwan Johnson might be the guy that I'm probably most excited about with Derek Carr's past with the guy, athletic tight end like Darren Waller. But what do you think about the Derek Carr signing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think it's a great move for that organization. They've had a lot of instability since Drew Brees has retired, so they needed somebody with that pedigree, with the ability to get the ball down the field a little bit. And they still think that they're in win now mode. I'm still not convinced that they are, but they still believe it. So with them believing it, they wanted to get that established veteran. And we could still see Carr put up very similar numbers here with the Saints that he was putting up with the Raiders. I don't anticipate any significant gains or any significant drop off in what he was doing the past few years. So I think we could still expect some good things out of Carr. And yeah, I think Johnson and Olave, there's some nice little bumps there. We'll see about Alvin Kamara. Obviously, it would work for him as well, but we don't know the whole legal situation that's going to be happening with him. So there's still a little ambiguity there, but I mean, Saints fans have to be thrilled because we've seen this with so many different franchises. Until you have that guy that you believe in, you're chasing your tail. I mean, you're just constantly trying to figure out the next guy, trying this guy, camp battles, and we're going to be talking about quite a few battles that are going to be happening, and hopefully those teams get one of those two guys to actually stick, but this team didn't want to wait for that. They didn't want to deal with that. We knew that they were after somebody. They were looking to get Deshaun Watson last year. They were thought to be one of the main teams in the race there for that. So I think they're happy to finally get their guy and just have that situation settled.
Yeah, and back to your point about them being in a window or thinking that they're in a window. In that division, it's wide open. So I do believe that they are kind of in a window. They've managed to tweak their salary. They were in a really bad spot as far as salary cap space. And now they're in the middle of the pack. They've got about $15 million of salary cap space. So they're doing some magic. I know it's basically kicking the can, down the road. They're going to eventually, that stuff's going to accelerate and kind of catch up with them. But the way their division and specifically the whole NFC is just a lot more of an open book than it is in the AFC, an easier road, we'll say, through the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. I can see why they're making these kind of moves and going out and getting a guy because their defense is still solid. So it was really just kind of getting a captain for that offense. And Derek Carr is that, you know what I mean? He's a very stabilizing type of figure. He's real steady Eddie, but he can do some things he's going to always need. I feel like a little bit of help from the defense if he's going to kind of advance and get deep into a playoff run. But I think that's what New Orleans has. So it might be a really good fit for them.
Yeah, I think it is a great fit, and most of our fantasy assets in New Orleans is happy about it. So that's really what matters mostly for us.